Hi, and thanks for joining us. Today we're going to talk about how Microsoft IT is enabling self-service business intelligence from Microsoft IT Enterprise Data Warehouse using Office 2010 and SQL Server 2008 R2. Everything that you'll see today is based on Microsoft BI products that are also available for external customers. My name is Vladimir Melnik, and I'm a Group Program Manager in BI Engineering Department of Microsoft IT. I lead the development of platforms for enterprise data warehousing.
Hi, I'm Sanjay Soni, and I'm a BI technology evangelist, and I promote our platforms across enterprise and facilitate their adoption.
The goal of BI engineering is to create an enterprise data warehouse that will allow for easier and more expedient decision-making for our end users. It will also promote one version of truth within the company. To be able to create this enterprise data warehouse solution, we created an ecosystem of BI platforms utilizing standard Microsoft BI products. Platforms exist for various stages of BI, including data acquisition, capture, and integration, something what we call ETL mechanism, or extract, transform, and load. It also has taxonomy management for master data management, distribution layer that will consist of portals and scorecards and dashboards, and of course the proper level of security. As a part of our EDW solution, we're acquiring and integrating data from various data sources into a central data store, then creating data marts and cubes and propagating all of that through the proper creation of reports and scorecards. So now that we have data in IT-supported data warehouse, next challenge is how exactly do we enable designated business power users to create reports, scorecards, and dashboards on their own? Demand for simple, cost-effective self-service business intelligence is as high as ever. In fact, it's not really new. We know that today in industry, only about 20% of people use business intelligence, mostly because it isn't just as accessible to average user as it is for power users. True self-service BI should allow any users to search for and locate a solution very quickly, access and load their own data, create their own reports and dashboards, and then invite, share, and collaborate with other users. That's what we see where demand is. That's what our users tell us what they want to see. So at the end of the day, can the self-service barrier finally be broken? And yes, we believe it can. This is exactly where new tools like SharePoint 2010 and SQL Server 2008 R2 are helping us. In this video, we will focus on enabling business power users to access data from IT-supported EDW using Power Pivot, and then publishing reports and scorecards using SharePoint dashboards. Sanjay, please go ahead.
All right. So as I've said before, imagine a world where all employees at an enterprise like Microsoft have the ability to go to just one BI portal, one destination. And based on their Windows account, they get instant access to all of their BI for entire Microsoft, for example, in one place. So that's the world of CBI. It's not a world of imagination anymore at Microsoft. CBI has been live for more than 3 years here with 30,000 plus users. So we implemented CBI almost 3 years ago, but number one question business customers always ask us was, well, how can I export to Excel and create reports on my own in an agile manner? So even if we have terabytes of data in EDW, customers still want to be able to bring their own data sets, munge EDW data with their own data sets, and create agile reports on their own, instead of waiting for IT to create reports that could take months, since business understands data more than IT does. IT is good at securing, managing, hosting, infrastructure, and governance. Then why not enable self-service BI and let designated power users create reports against EDW data using some of these tools? So here is Microsoft Consolidated Business Intelligence, through which we are delivering BI to 30,000 plus users. Here's that one enterprise report catalog. And on the right-hand side, I'm going to just show you one dashboard we created using SharePoint 2010 and SQL Server 2008 R2 capabilities. So if I click on this and I just go to this window, what I see is a nice dashboard coming from our EDW data, connected sales and marketing data. So we created this using SharePoint 2010 dashboard designer. And what you're looking at here is a customer revenue by segment scorecard on the left-hand side. We created using SharePoint 2010 dashboard designer. On the right-hand side is customer revenue by type, again, analytic chart, part of the same tool. Below that, you see there's some reporting services 2008 R2 gauge, and on the right hand side is a Bing map integration, part of SQL Server reporting services 2008 R2. Let me show you some interaction in terms of end user capabilities. So we are looking at the scorecard, and let's say we really want to focus only on FY10 Q3 data, only for UK. So as I select that filter, you'll see the web parts, the reports are changing. Now I'm showing only UK data, not only using SharePoint tool, but also using the reporting services gauge. Seamless, right? Let's click on something red. Okay, so we are missing some revenue and target. Of course, this is masked data. This is the real data from EDW has been masked to show you this demo. I click on this, and the views are changing on the right hand side below. What I can do is I can focus only on renewals, because I really want to find out the customers that are up for renewal. Based on Q3 data, I can focus only on those customers. So I'm showing you decomposition tree based on that data. And let's say we want to focus on the products, the family names. And here is where I'm looking at is $1.9 million revenue from this particular category. And I want to find out what kind of customers are buying that. So I can sell something else, let's say BPOS, to those customers. Now, basically what I can see is $2 million worth of revenue coming from this customer, and more importantly, something is negative. That means maybe that customer returned our products. Must be a training issue. So we can focus on training. All I'm trying to say is we can start at the top level dashboard and then get into this rhythm of analysis, right, from this top level dashboard. What we are also looking at on the right hand side here is a Bing map report. We are looking at the number of partners we've had by geography, partner count by geography for Microsoft. Let's say I want to drill into this. I click on this link, and now this particular chart comes out of the dashboard, and here we are looking at this Bing map report, where we see on the left hand side a chart showing my distribution of partners across different geographies. I click on Canada, of course, and on the right hand side I'll be able to see more details. I can see what is the breakdown of active partners count for Canada in terms of certified partners and gold certified partners. I can click on USA, right, just like that, and now I can again see some more details only for USA on the right hand side. That's interesting, isn't it? So what you will also notice is that once this report comes back, you will notice that there is a dot here in this color, green, over Seattle. So I click on this, and now I'm able to see, of course, this is some kind of photos in the view of a company store, right, at Microsoft. This is not related to connected sales and marketing data, but it shows you that any kind of linked report is possible from that particular chart I was showing you.
So Sanjay, that looks like a very nice integration with the PhotoSync technology as well, that lets you approximate the images as well, and not just the pure data. Is that true?
Yes, absolutely.
And this scorecard we're looking at right now, it looks pretty sophisticated. How much development effort went into this? How much coding was required to create something like that?
So that is the cool part about the SharePoint 2010 dashboard designer. No programming was required to create the dashboard that I'm showing you. Now, of course, a linked report is a different scenario. The photos in the view you can create, I was just showing you a linked example. Mm-hmm. But the dashboard that I'm showing you, you can use SharePoint 2010 out of the box dashboard designer and reporting services integration, report builder 3.0 with Bing map. Integration is great.
So business users, in principle, could create something like that out of the box.
Designated business power users can do that. Yes,
right,
absolutely.
Including the geomapping solutions that offer it with the Bing maps.
Absolutely.
That is pretty exciting.
And now I'm going to show you something where some programming was actually required. And this is a real partner Silverlight Bing map. And this is something which is possible where business people can collaborate with IT departments to create more sophisticated views of reports. So for example, I can drill down, I can drill up. This is Silverlight integration, again Silverlight Bing map integration with reporting services. And here is where IT departments could help to make more sophisticated reports. For example, here I'm showing actual numbers of partner counts in Italy and all parts of the world. And I click on it, now I see more detailed view, but that's what it is. Now let's switch gears as to our second part of the demo, where I'm going to show you how can we consume all this information through Excel, right? So what I'm showing you here is a Excel services Power Pivot view, if you would. Here's a Power Pivot library. On SharePoint 2010, you can host your Power Pivot models on SharePoint 2010. And here is where I'm going to show you something really cool. So this particular view I'm showing you, this is Excel Services 2010 consumption view, if you would. Nothing needs to be installed on people's desktops. What I'm showing you here is 10 million rows behind the scenes in a Excel Power Pivot model, right?
So what we see right now, Sanjay, is your Power Pivot, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Essentially, is a Power Pivot view, if you would, for the end users, where you can consume data from all kinds of data sources inside of Excel.
So again, no coding required, or is there some coding required to see this type of reporting right now?
So to create this, no coding was required. So why don't we make it a little bit more interesting here, and we create a Power Pivot model from scratch. So let's say I'm going to show you now. Let's start from scratch within Excel, and we're going to start the second demo. So now let's switch gears and let's create a Power Pivot model from scratch in the next few minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start Excel 2010. My demo scenario is very simple. We have EDW, where we have data about products and revenue, right? Now I'm designated business power users, and I want to find out what kind of people buy Xbox systems or Zooms. I want to find out what kind of demographics. And I approach IT, and IT says, okay, we have some information about products and revenue, but we do not have information about demographics, let's just say that, and also we do not have information about geography in this EDW. So then all I can do is I can simply go to Power Pivot and launch. Inside of Excel 2010, you see this free add-in, Power Pivot. You click on Power Pivot window, and now a special workspace loads in. And this is what I call magical workspace, because this is where you can load millions of rows of data. The 10 million row view that I showed you before, you could load that. So now I'm going to import data from SQL Server, EDW in this case, and let's say my EDW is located here. I go to Next, select from a list of tables that IT has given me access to. So I select product information here, and also the fact table where I have revenue and expenses information. So I'm importing this data from EDW. IT has given me access. I have information. Both of those tables become two tabs right here. So now I'm going to go to the second data source I was talking about, where we have some information about demographics. So let's just go there, demographics raw data. So my demo scenario is that I have gone to Census Bureau. Let's say I've downloaded this information, I've masked this. Now I'm going to Control-A, Control-C, and then after I copy this, Control-C, I go to my original Excel and paste this information. Now I'm going to link this data, right? Create linked table, and here is where we call it demographics data.
So Sanjay, what I see is that this different data sources right now look just like a standard worksheets in Excel. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
That's the view in Excel?
Yes. So far we have imported data from EDW, and then my own data I got from, let's say, Internet. And then I'm going to import a third data source from text file, right? It could be from my SAP or some other ERP solution. So geography information, and I'm going to import this data through a tab delimited file, use first row as column headers, for example, and finish. Voila. So I've imported data from 3 different data sources, and of course you have tons of data sources available, but now that I have data, my next step is to create relationships. So let's go there, create relationship between all I'm going to do now is create relationships between these data sources and this fact table, right? That's where revenue and expenses information is. So create relationship between geography, hierarchy, and the fact table. Done. Let's go to the demographics next. And one thing to keep in mind is that if you do have relationships in EDW, the system will recognize those and you can import those. So I'm going to relate demographics table to the fact table through demographics keys, and my last relationship I'm going to create is going to be through product hierarchy.
So these look just like standard templates that we are accustomed in using through Microsoft Office and Microsoft Excel, namely.
Absolutely. So once you create these relationships, the next step is very, very simple. You're ready to create the cube. So superpower, those designated power users don't realize this, but the cube is being created behind the scenes. And when I'm ready to do my analysis right now. And when I save this file, you'll see this magic starts to happen. So I'm selecting super division name, the product on rows, and then let's just go to this fact table where we have revenue and expenses information. I want this to be on values, not a big deal, right? But the cool new feature that I like in Excel 2010 is essentially slicers. So you see they are much more visual than previous version, So you could simply move those slicers, filters if you would, to the slicers, much more visual than in past. And then now I have geography information here. I can simply move these things to my slicers on vertical, slicers on horizontal rows, right? So I can simply select, okay, what kind of people actually buy gaming software, my Xbox systems, right? In France or Germany. So these are visual slicers available to me. Okay, so we have created this file. Now what? Now we're going to save this file, and this will be my special cube file if you would. So let's go to desktop and to the demo folder. And I'm going to save it as my 628 demo file. So I've saved this locally, but the true benefit of all this starts to happen when we go to SharePoint, right? So let's open the SharePoint Power Pivot library, if you would. That's where my models are hosted by IT. So here's where we are. Now we're going to publish the file we just created to this SharePoint 2010 instance of Power Pivot hosted by IT. So upload document.
So is this, Sanjay, is this the document library you mentioned earlier?
Yes.
That's the view of document library.
And that's exactly where we will just publish this file now.
Okay.
And once we publish this file to SharePoint, the nice thing is, of course, I can give it any name. The nice thing is this could be available to your end users. Could be thousands of users, right, via SharePoint 2010. So let's open this file here, 628 demo file. I open this, and now I can simply do the analysis in a thin client manner. This is the end user community, could be hundreds or thousands of users. So we've come a full circle. We had IT data warehouse, we brought our own data sources, we as superpower user created the model, published it to IT hosted scenario, and then as an end user I can query this.
What kind of tools does end user need to have on his desktop to see all this?
Internet Explorer, this is it. So now I can do this analysis much more quickly, right? Now the last thing I want to show you real quick is going to be this. The coolest feature of all is really right here. You could manage data refresh frequency. On SharePoint, you could manage data refresh frequency, but data could be coming from, you could set up what time do you want to, how often do you want to enable the data refreshes from all kinds of data sources. It's a self-running BI system. Data will be automatically refreshed, and your end users can consume all this in a thin client manner. And the best part is that the file that we just uploaded here, you could use other BI tools, more visual report builder tool or something like that, to create reports against this file, which is an analysis, is more of a special cube file. So that's the cool part. You can create BI from this file using other more visual BI tools. This is the end of the demo.
So today, we demonstrated how easy it is to create self-service business intelligence applications for the end users. We've utilized all of the Microsoft Business Intelligence standardized stack applications, and we hope that this information was useful and helpful for your own development.
Thank you. See you next time.